I'm Pat Russell, and I'm right here at Tiger Stadium. I'm standing right next to Coach Nolan, coach of the Morgan City Tigers. We have our game of the week tonight. Coach, you guys had a big victory last week over Sarah Reed. A lot of drama after that game. Weekend ahead of us. Today, over 1,200 high school players showed up at Nichols State to check in for the Manning Passing Academy. Thanks, Tracy. I'm standing here with World Lumberjack champion Jamie Fisher. Jamie, can you tell us exactly what? Believe it or not, the coach told me they were actually going to water the field tonight to get off all the excess mud. Then they were going to give the field a rest right now. And I'm here with Clarence Robinson, who's here to talk to us a little about the Marcus Jones 5K run.
Yes, this is the 14th.
Both games did seem to run late yesterday, especially the 9-year-old. They have to play the full 6 innings. And also Patterson will be having their invitational this evening. The 10-year-olds will be playing at Bayou Vista Spray Park, which is getting a skating park pretty soon. And the 12-year-olds will be. Now, last week, West St. Mary racked up 72 points on their opponent, but was even more impressive than that was the play of their star wide receiver. In sports, records are set and records are broken. Last Friday at West St. Mary, one of those records fell to wide receiver Dejon Stewart.
He threw me a shovel pass, and I broke it for 90 yards. After I beat that one man, I was off to the races. It's gone.
Gone for 404 yards receiving and 6 touchdowns. With stats like that, a receiver needs to have great chemistry with his quarterback. Stewart and Travell Dixon are family.
I mean, those guys, because they do everything together. Even like say when they're just talking and just, playing around and joking around, they're throwing a football to one another. So I mean, like I said, they understand, what football means to them, and I understand, what football means to the team and as well. So as long as they continue to just keep on playing together, hey, sometimes, those things just work out the way they're working out.
The two have an unusual training regimen.
Madden. We play almost everything.
Coach Antoine saw a weakness in the visiting team's defense and used Stewart to exploit it.
They were in cover one all night. We felt our matchups with Dejon against their secondary guy, we felt we could exploit it, and so we just kept on going at it, and, we were able to continue to hit on it, for 6 straight touchdowns on them. So, we was real proud of what they did, and Dejon, does a good job of creating massive matchup problems for people. And Travell, has a good arm and made some good reads that night.
The coach's game plan and Stewart's athletic ability allowed the receiver to set the national record for most touchdowns in a half.
Everyone it was just crazy. Everyone just like, dang, man, you're scoring a lot. And I was like, just kept going. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm just all in the game.
The Wolfpack pass catcher is more concerned with putting the school on the map than himself.
Before we wasn't doing too good. We had like 1-8 seasons, 0-9 seasons and all. And now this year we 4-0 in the first 4 games. So I basically we just said everything different, everything new.
Since May 9th, the National Guard has been hard at work stacking sandbags around the area to keep citizens safe from the overflowing Mississippi River.
They've been helping tremendously. They're military, but they're also people like anybody else. They've got homes everywhere they come from and things they like to do. So they had asked me about playing some softball out here in Amelia, and I told them have at it, and they started practicing a little bit, and next thing you know, they had a team or two, and so we kind of got together, and I made a few calls and got some things donated.
After the threat of flood had passed, the Guard wanted to celebrate with local townsmen on a job well done.
Well, we try to do things with the community that when we're out in certain areas, and just the opportunity to spend time with them, and as much as they've done for us since we've been here, it just seemed like a good thing to do.
Locals from around the area came to the park to enjoy the game and watch the inner child that many from the Guard brought out.
That's what makes you laugh, and that we've needed that with everything that we've gone through around here. This is my first year living here, so when they started all this flood, I was extremely scared.
Everyone at the park was able to take part in the spring fun. In fact, the family was not shy about acknowledging a parent's accomplishment.
He's a really good base runner, and I think he hit it really good.
And his faults.
It's just that some of them would either throw it high, low, too far.
The Guard played with more enthusiasm than most professional sports teams. With every swing of the bat, one could see the passion they had for the sport.
I've been loving it. I love ball. can't be the greatest sport in the world.
With the community's anxiety subsiding and the town returning to daily routine, it's easy to see the impact the National Guard had on us. But what's hard to see is the impact we had on them.
As far as the people around here are awesome, they're excellent. I'll thank every single one of them. You cannot get better hospitality than the Southern hospitality, and it don't get better than here.
At one point in time, roller derby was considered sports entertainment. But don't tell that to Tracy Nelson.
The one misconception that we have is it like wrestling? Is it fake? Is it staged? No. It's not even, I wouldn't consider it to even be violent. It's a legitimate sport. It's like football. It's a full contact sport.
Also known as Olive Torture, Tracy started the Cajun Roller Girls just 2 short years ago.
Basically, I wanted to belong to something, first of all. To start getting involved with our community. I enjoyed skating for exercise, and I stumbled across it on the internet. Never heard of roller derby before this. Just seemed like something that I wanted to do, and made a flyer and started recruiting girls. And
several girls came and left the rest of us figuring out just how exactly is this game played.
It's kind of like a race. You play offense and defense at the same time. You have jammers, which those are people that score points. You have a jammer from each team. Okay, so you have 2 teams on the track at the same time. You have 1 jammer from each team, like I said, and then you have 4 blockers on each team as your blockers that you help your jammer, and then their 4 blockers try to block your jammer. Makes sense? Kind of. But what is clear is the type of beating these girls take when they're on the rink. Few breaks, Raven scar, plates and screws.
You have to want to do this. You have to really want to do this to get in it, but it's fun.
Injuries aside, the girls have tremendous passion for the sport.
Welcome back to KWBJ News. It's time now for sports with Pat Russell. And Pat, you've been out in Thibodaux earlier today.
I've been everywhere today, actually. Yes, I was in Thibodaux and I was at the Peyton Manning camp, and I'm telling you, it is packed. You have media from everywhere, all over the state, coming there to hang out with the Manning family. And, there's also a lot of college quarterbacks in the area, too.
Kind of a star-studded event, and I'm not just talking about the Mannings. There's some other folks
out
there.
Yes, we had Jesse Palmer, who was a former bachelor there, but we also had Andrew Luck, who's from Stanford. And a lot of people thought he could have been the #1 pick in the draft last year. So, I mean, this is a really, really big event for the summer. And a lot of these players are here, because they still don't know whether the lockout's going to end soon enough or not for them. We have a busy weekend ahead of us. Little League Baseball is in high gear, and we will get to enjoy several games in the parish's many ballparks. The big news, though, comes out of Nichols State in Thibodaux. The Manning family and a handful of professional coaches were in town for their annual camp. Around 1,200 high school students were in town to learn everything they needed to know about the game of football. Also, several top college prospects were on hand to work out with each other and improve their game in front of some of the NFL's top quarterbacks. But first, let's head over to Complex Park for Game 1. 9-year-olds, Morgan City and Thibodaux bringing tons of fans to the park. Morgan City down early trying to come back, and Hayden Keller hits this fly ball in the shallow left field. Thibodaux has all types of trouble fielding it, giving Keller an extra chance to show off his speed, and he'll turn a single into a double. Next pitch, dead ball. Thibodaux sends the runner to first. Morgan City would have runners on first and second for the power hitter Michael M.A. Hill, and he delivered, sends this screamer into the outfield between 2 defenders. It's going to go all the way back to the wall, and he'll have 2 RBIs on that play, giving him a nice stand-up double. 5th inning, Keller on third. Dylan Tingle hits this right over the pitcher into the gap over the second baseman, and Keller will score, but Morgan City would lose this game to Thibodaux. Final score 19-17. The game was back and forth all night long. Both teams were several arms in it, so Thibodaux is 1 up on Morgan City. They will play again tonight at the same time, and the series will finish up tomorrow. As for the later game, the 11-year-olds, Morgan City ended up beating Thibodaux 12-2. They will play again tonight after the 9-year-olds and will finish up on Saturday as well. We have a lot going on this weekend, and I can't tell you, just the feeling in the air at that passing camp. I mean, it is that's got to be the best camp in the nation. I mean, you have 37 college quarterbacks there coming to learn from a Hall of Famer. I mean, you have Archie Manning, who's a legend in his own right, and I mean, both those quarterbacks have 2 Super Bowl rings, you know? Peyton Manning's been to the Super Bowl twice. Eli Manning's won it once. Peyton's won it once. Peyton actually beat the Bears, which, you know, I didn't ask him anything about that, but I always wanted to know what it felt like playing against the Bears defense back then. So, I mean, it's a great time. It's a great time.
And you're, of course, going to have more for us next week
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to be at the Air It Out competition Saturday night. We've had a couple players in the past come. Jamarcus Russell was there one year. Colt McCoy was there this year. I'm hoping Jordan Jefferson from LSU throws, and Andrew Luck's going to be there to throw. E.J. Manuel from Florida State is there as well. And maybe the Bachelor, Jesse Palmer, will air it out a little bit.
What a lineup. Now, the Mannings typically avoid questions that aren't related to the academy.
Yes, you know,
so
they are
sort of worked to their favor this year.
That did. And that's what I think is really unique about this camp is they're there completely for the kids. Eli was talking about how he was at this camp when he was 14 years old. You know, he didn't know he was going to be in the NFL then. Right. So they're really just throwing a camp for the state of Louisiana and football players in Louisiana. And, you know, they don't want to hear about the lockout at all. They're there to coach. They're there to have a good time. Coach Gruden was there. He's having probably the most fun out of anyone I saw. I mean, he's in the booth right now, but you can tell he's a coach at heart. And, I mean, it's just a great time.
All right. Thank you, Pat. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.